Now, one of the things I wanted to share was how to be comfortable on camera, because it's very confusing when you're first starting off talking to a camera and trying to figure out, like, what do I say? How do I, do this where I feel comfortable and I can have a natural conversation? Well, I'll tell you what, one of the first books that I read was How to Win Friends and Influence People by Dale Carnegie. And I started practicing the principles in that book during high school because I was shy. I was very, very insecure. I was just very to myself and I didn't know how to talk to people. So I started reading that book and it gave me practical like takeaways, tactics, principles to start applying right away. And I started practicing it in school and I started getting better at talking. But one of the biggest things that we get stuck in our heads about is what people think of us. And this is the biggest hindrance that I've found. One is being clear on who you're talking to. So Alex Reyna just talked about it in his YouTube video recently, but I guess it's a piece of advice I gave back in the past, where I was basically saying, when you look at the camera, you don't want to see a camera. What you want to see is somebody that you think of in your head. Put a face to it and then talk to that person. Because if you could talk to that person, then you're not going to feel like you're talking to like this big giant audience and get like stage fright. When you remember that you're just talking to one person on the other side of this camera, then it makes it feel more like a one-on-one conversation instead of you feeling like you're talking to a giant audience. That's one of the big tips I've taken away. And then the other is, like, again, learning how to be comfortable with who you are. If you make mistakes, like if you are talking on camera and yet at the same time constantly analyzing yourself, and you've got these thoughts like, oh, do I look stupid? What am I saying? Do people agree with me? Those are the sort of thoughts that are going to get in your head and they're going to make you want to turn the camera off and just put it down and be like, you know what? I'm not going to post this. And that sucks, dude, because there's probably a lot of good stuff you want to share and you really just want to like get in the habit of posting and not caring what people think. But then you get those thoughts in your head and then now you're like, dude, I don't know how to get past this. Well, one of the ways to get past that for me personally, it was just learning to just be more relaxed, be more chill, bro. Like, understanding that the imperfections that you have, right? I could sit here and analyze my face, acne, hair, oh, my fucking head looks weird. Like, bro, get those thoughts out of your head, dude. And you have to realize, like, when you accept those things about yourself, nobody notices them. It's only when you start pointing out the flaws in yourself that you make it known to people. Other people don't look at you that way. They just see you. Like, in general, it's just your face, that's your hair. They don't see the little piece of hair sticking out or a bump or whatever, right? Like, so when you highlight those things in your own mind, then you highlight it and it shows on camera. And so you gotta learn to just stop giving a fuck, bro. Like, if your hair's messy, if your face looks a little weird, if you're shy, if you don't know what you're saying, that's fine. It's a level of acceptance you have to have about yourself, because then you could be free. And I like the saying, man, the truth sets you free. And if you learn to just accept the truth about yourself, like, bro, if one day you wake up and you do look a little fucking ugly, like, who cares? So what? You're human, bro. Like, it doesn't matter. If you stutter, if you can't speak smooth, if you're having trouble just getting your point across, welcome to being a human. That's just a part of it. I've gotten this good at speaking because it's taken me a long time to practice trying to figure out what I'm trying to say. I used to not know what I was trying to get. Like, when you don't know what the point is, that's when you start getting really messed up. Or if you feel like you're talking for the sake of talking, then you don't really know what to say and it just goes out the window. I mean, we've all had conversations where it's a little quiet, but you want to talk because you don't want it to be quiet because you're not okay with the silence. And so you start saying some dumb shit and then now you look like a retard. It's okay to just be quiet or to just be relaxed. Or if you don't know what to say, pause. So I'm hoping this is some good stuff for you guys to put in your head, because this is the stuff that I've built over years learning how to talk on camera. And one of the emotions that I really hold at the front whenever I'm speaking is excitement, enthusiasm. When you have a good intent, those are the things that mix together to allow you to spread a message. And you don't have to have some sort of script in your head about what you're going to say, because conversations don't happen that way. So it's very unnatural, which is why you probably feel very unnatural on camera trying to talk from a script that you remembered in your brain. You need to have the message that you want to say. What's the point I'm trying to get across? That's your intent. And then you just need to say it. You need to get excited and enthusiastic about sharing that tip. So like when I was turning this camera on right now, I was like, you know what? I've got information that can help people talk on camera and I want to share it. I don't know where to start, so I'm just going to turn the camera on. I'm just going to quickly say what it is that I'm doing and then dive straight in and start talking about it. And so hopefully that information helps you out. The next time you turn the camera on, I encourage you to do it right away, honestly, because that's the quickest way to learn, is to turn the camera on right now and shoot something and then just get it posted, bro. So good luck, guys. I hope that was helpful. If it was, share it with somebody, tag them, I don't know, do something with it.